Bonjour. I'm walking on the Pont Alexander, without doubt my favorite bridge in all of Paris. The beautiful gilded flying horses. And in the background, Les Invalides, originally constructed as a hospital for wounded war veterans, and now the repository of the remains of Napoleon Bonaparte. The twin palaces to our left and right, the Grand Palais, where just in a few minutes I'll meet Alex Lobrano for a dinner at the Mini Palais restaurant, and off to the right, Le Petit Palais, where last year I had the pleasure of watching a retrospective of all of the work of Yves Saint Laurent, both an archive of history and of fashion. Paris doesn't get any better. Alex Lobrano.
Hey, Terrance, how are you?
My favorite guide to dining in Paris.
Good to see you. How are you? You know what? Let's go in the kitchen before Stéphane Daboville, the chef, gets busy because we're early and
Fabulous
I want to
idea.
show you the kitchen.
Yeah,
it's a great kitchen. Sure. Come on.
Chef Stéphane Daboville, thank you for inviting us into your kitchen. It is said that one should never watch legislation or sausage being made. But in the case of the Mini Palais, we can come into the kitchen and not be at all perturbed by what we're going to see prior to it coming out for this fabulous meal. Thank you for having us here. Alex Lobrano, longtime Paris resident, 20 years, senior correspondent for many years, for almost 10 years for Gourmet Magazine, and now a feature writer for Food and Wine, the New York Times, and almost any other publication that deals with high-quality dining around the world. Thanks for being here, Alex.
My pleasure. Looks delicious, and I can't wait for lunch. This absolutely magnificent dining room, which is, I think, one of the most beautiful new restaurant spaces in Paris. And you see over my shoulder the plaster busts?
Right.
Because we have the Grand Palais, which is one of the most important exhibit spaces in Paris next door. And this very hip French design team, Patrick Gilles and Dorothée Bossier, they did the decor here. And I love it because it's sort of like a riff on an artist atelier, you know, with the wood floors and the plaster busts, and
lots of light.
And it's a complicated space because with the high ceilings, but I think it's one of the prettiest new dining rooms in Paris.
Hungry for Paris in its second printing. How many copies sold?
Oh, that's over 100,000 copies.
Whoa, and I'm not surprised because as I said at the outset, this is my guide to intelligent dining in Paris. One of the things that Alec purely understands is the dining experience, which is meant to be fun and not intimidating. Before I get into the book a little bit, you, like myself, are passionate lovers of Paris and came here by choice, almost like a religious conversion. When did you first come to Paris and why did you stay?
I first came to Paris in 1972, and that was with my family. We spent 2 months in Europe that summer. We've been in Italy, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, and then we got to Paris, and everything changed. I was 11 and sat by myself in a cafe on the Champs-Élysées with a little teeny glass of red wine, which they served me even though I was 11 years old. And I thought, this is it for me. I mean, this is where I have to be.
The book, I mean, one of the things that I find, you talk about, you demystify the experience of being in a restaurant. The restaurants are meant to be fun, and the French have this wonderful expression called rapport qualité-prix, where you can have a 15-euro meal that is exemplary and a 200-euro meal that's a nightmare.
Right.
Talk about what it is that you, as someone who dines out almost every day, and particularly as someone who advises people who only have a week in Paris who can't afford to have a bad meal, what are the criteria that you apply to deciding whether a restaurant is worth going back to?
Well, one of the things I tell anybody who's coming to Paris is, if you've seen our plates, this meal costs 28 euros. If you're on a budget, the lunchtime menus are the best thing you can do in Paris. This is an incredible quality of food for 28 euros. Many of the more expensive restaurants in the city offer lunchtime menus. It's a real opportunity to eat well and save some money. And I think, in other words, have your big meal at noon and eat late in the evening.
What is been some of the most significant changes you've seen in dining in Paris in the 20 years that you've been here?
France has become much more international. With our lunch today, you would never have seen a coulis de poivron rouge or a red pepper garnished like that, 20 years ago. Young French chefs are looking beyond their borders. Many of them have worked overseas. And they bring back experience in Asia, Australia, America, England. The French kitchen still has the best technique in the world, but what's lighting it up right now is the international experience of a new generation of really great cooks.
How has Paris affected your life and work?
How has it not affected my life and work? It's turned me into a writer. It's developed it brought me to full flower as a person, as a gourmet, as a writer, in every way. This is the city where I needed to be planted, and this is the city where I bloomed. Yeah.
I'll drink to that.
Thanks, Terrance.
Thank you very much.
Great. Cheers.
Now, look, all that remains to be said is thank you for joining us today. See you in Paris soon.